Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas, and we're back at it again, my friend. I would like to talk about how a lot of us as Christians, we believe that once we become saved and we get baptized, all of this stuff, our old self is just like, it doesn't exist anymore. We don't have the same desires anymore. Now, I'm not knocking that, okay? For some people, that's the truth. Some people, they get on fire for God immediately after they are saved. And, they just skyrocket. They just keep going up and up and up and having experiences with the Lord. And they know beyond the shadow of a doubt that He is the one true God. I'm going to tell you right now, I was not one of them. I got saved at a very young age. I was saved when I was 7 years old, and I lived in the world basically up until I was up until I moved out to Oklahoma, up until I was about 25 years old. So, that's 18 years of my life where I was just doing whatever I wanted to do, however I wanted to do it, whenever I wanted to do it, And with that said, but the bottom line of this entire video is that you have to realize that your relationship with the Lord is a journey. And I think that, a lot of the pastors that you see on television, a lot of the pastors that you may come in contact with, it's just kind of like they live in such a glass house. They live in such a glass house, and, it's really difficult to protect that specific image that the church that you are shepherding has on you. You see what I'm saying? You have so much pressure on yourself to live a godly life as expected, right? Because you are the one that is shepherding the people in your congregation. And I get that. But I think that there's also a place in our life to where we should share the things that we are going through. All of us have a beginning. All of us have a beginning. And when we don't share that beginning, it paints a false image of what a Christian walk actually looks like. Now, you have to keep in mind that a lot of us don't even read the Word. A lot of us don't even read the Word. So when we go to church, when we hear from a pastor, and that pastor is put on a pedestal, and he doesn't talk about his past or his past struggles, whether he's even struggled with masturbation or sex addiction, which is very common for pastors and ministers around the world. And but regardless of whatever it is that he has struggled with, money, whatever, voicing that and talking about the journey of, coming together with the Lord and how the Lord brought you out of it is more of a powerful testimony and more of a representation of how the Lord works than just acting as if, you stand on the pulpit, or us as ministers, because all of us are ministers. We go out and minister and we talk about God and this, that, and the other. But a lot of the times we need people need a display of His power. And a display of His power could easily be represented in our testimonies. So sharing the times where the Lord has come through for you, because the Lord put that person in your corner for a specific purpose. He gave you that divine appointment for a specific purpose. And when you share those specific testimonies, you never know who you may be talking to. That person may be struggling with the exact same thing that you have struggled with and the Lord brought you out of. And so by sharing those testimonies, it not only, talks about or shares or shows how human we are, and how much, we also have to struggle with the flesh and the duality of our specific mindsets as we walk down this narrow path together. And how many times we may have to repent, how many times we will stumble, how many times we may fall away and then come back. All of those specific things are a part of the Christian walk. And I just feel like a lot of us are not expressing those. So when we do have the opportunity to minister, whenever you see a pastor up there and they're talking and this, that, and the other, if you don't go to a mega church and you're able to actually talk to the pastor, ask him about, the full expression of the Lord in his life. Ask him about the specific struggles that he's had, that the Lord had to bring him out of, and ask him to be honest, because without sharing those testimonies, it's just kind of like, it paints the image just like, oh, I'm saved, and guess what? Nah, I'm perfect. And so then that allows for religion to come into the factor, because of the fact that a lot of us don't ever share the struggles that we've gone through as humans. It's just kind of like, when it paints that picture of now we're perfect because we are saved, you go out and you preach like that. You go out and you talk to people not out of love, but you judge them as if it's just kind of like, oh, you wearing those clothes? Oh, well, how dare you? Or knowing good and well, before you got saved, you were acting the exact same way. Or you may be acting like that behind closed doors where nobody in the church building can see you. Or you may be stealing stuff. Or you may be stealing time at your job. Or you may be struggling with sex, porn, and masturbation. All of these things. But guess what? Because the church is in a state of pretending, it paints that picture that, oh, well, this is how we are supposed to act. We keep all of our dark stuff, all of our skeletons in the closet. No, there will be nobody that is set free. That is exactly what the Lord wants. Satan wants. He doesn't want anybody to be set free, and he wants his presence to remain unknown. And so when we never share the power of God, guess what? That power can never be expressed. You see? And also, it is a way for us to be humble, because it shows the power of God and how weak we are without him. So the next time we're out there, we are ministering, we are talking about God, come from a place of personal experience with the Lord and also with the Bible as well. You guys be blessed.